Good morning, guys. It's Mr. Short checking in with all of my seniors who are virtual students to discuss with you our senior checklist for you guys and what you need to do to make sure you're on top of things as far as applying to college and making sure all your graduation requirements and personal curriculum things are taken care of. At the end of the video, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call myself or Mrs. Higgins or email myself or Mrs. Higgins so we can discuss things further. Our goal is to have everybody on the same page after this presentation, and we are here always until 2:30 every day to answer your phone calls or questions. So with that, I want you guys to log into Skyward and look at your graduation requirements to determine whether or not you have the required amount of credits to graduate. If for some reason you are missing some, like PE is a typical one that students are missing because they played 3 seasons of a sport or they were in marching band for 3 years. This is going to require a waiver from the counseling department. So please shoot us an email or give us a phone call saying that you're in one of those situations, and we'll go ahead and make sure to get that waiver home to you as soon as we possibly can. Another thing is personal curriculums. For example, if you're waiving a semester of economics because you took AP Gov, or you're waiving PE because you're taking AP Calc, or you're waiving world history because you're taking AP Calc or AP Chemistry or AP Physics, any of those circumstances that would require a personal curriculum is going to require some paperwork. So please contact us. We'll make sure that the paperwork gets sent home so that everything can be signed, sealed, and delivered for graduation. This homework or this paperwork is extremely important to have filled out. If you do not have it filled out, then we cannot grant the personal curriculum. So please, if you're in either of those situations, just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll make sure that you get whatever you need. Following up, the college application process. A lot of schools and a lot of students have already been accepted into college. If you're one of those students, congratulations. That's an awesome first step into your future. And for those of you that haven't started filling out college applications, it's okay. Many schools are on rolling admissions. I know that Central, Western, and Eastern are examples of colleges that are taking applications year-round. So start it early and start it often. Many schools in the state are not requiring your test scores to be submitted. So my piece of advice to all of you that haven't taken the SAT yet is to send in your transcript and your application right now. Because if you can get in without having to submit a test score, great. We are going to be hosting the SAT here at St. Clair High School on October 14th. And the PSA, excuse me, on October 14th, there's going to be more information about that incoming with dates, with specific times and classroom assignments. Please note, though, that if you are a virtual student looking to take the SAT here on October 14th, that you will be in a classroom with other students. So again, apply right now without your test score. If they do eventually require you to submit a test score, then you're going to have to take the SAT eventually so that you can get them that test score. Or if they require a test score for further consideration for scholarships, you may also have to submit one. But if you're one of those students that has a really great GPA and a really strong transcript, but you struggle with test taking, submitting those applications now without a test score, I think is a really great opportunity for you to have to avoid taking the SAT. So if that is you and you fit that description, please apply right now without your test score. We also have what is called the NACAC form, and that's a fancy acronym for students who qualify for free or reduced cost college application fees. Many schools in the state of Michigan are not requiring fees or are waiving fees for college applications, but for those students who qualified for free and reduced lunch or have another sort of family hardship, mom and dad were employed and then lost their job recently, or something else has come up. Please see myself or Mrs. Higgins and we can get you that form so that whatever colleges you're applying to, that fee is waived. Like I said, most colleges and universities in the state of Michigan have waived all college application fees from now until further notice. But if you're applying out of state and they have not waived those fees, or there's an in-state school that hasn't waived those fees, please let us know and we'll get you that form. We need you to go online to parchment.com and that is our transcript service that we use through St. Clair High School to send your transcripts to the colleges and universities that you wish to attend. Mrs. Oplitz has, I believe, already sent out an email, and if you're already registered for Parchment, then there's nothing else you need to do but send a transcript request. If you haven't registered for Parchment, then you're going to need to track down that email. Please check your junk folder if it's not in your inbox. Use the access code at parchment.com to then create your account. There's a profile option where you can go through and fill out a bunch of different things like your GPA, test scores if applicable, and then what colleges and universities you're interested in. And what that will do will give you a like green, red, or yellow light for your admission chances according to the information that you've entered. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But Parchment is how we send your transcript. So once you do that, you'll send a transcript request to St. Clair High School. Mrs. Zoplitz will get that information and then send it electronically to the college and university of your selection. And they usually get those within 2 to 5 business days, depending on how much traffic they have and how many applications they're receiving. So please give them 2 to 5 days in order to open that and download it before you contact them asking if they've received that. Next step is our letters of recommendation. For those of you that are applying to schools that require letters of recommendation, and you would know that by looking at the application online or through the Common App or Coalition app, please look at whether or not your school requires a letter of recommendation. Some cases they do not. Michigan State, for those of you applying there, will not require a letter of recommendation. However, if your school does require a letter of recommendation, please contact your staff or teacher immediately so that they can plan accordingly to get those letters out to you on time. There's nothing worse than contacting a staff member last minute asking for a letter of recommendation within the next 3 or 4 days. We would like adequate time to prepare you a wonderful letter, so in order to do that, we need to know ahead of time. Also, along with that, please only contact staff members that you have a good relationship with. So, for example, if you have Mrs. Disserat this year and then had her last year for English, I think she would be a good candidate to write you that letter. Likewise with Mr. Klutz, if you've had him for a couple of different classes and you would like him to write your letter of recommendation, please make sure you've had this teacher before this year. If this is your first time in Mrs. Disserat or Mrs. Eberhardt's class, they would not be the staff members that I would choose to write a letter for me, being that they've only known you now for 3 weeks. It's probably not the best option. Also, unless there's an athletic scholarship or your letter of recommendation needs to be from an athletic coach, please do not request that an athletic coach send this letter of recommendation for you. You need a staff member who can speak to your academic prowess and academic abilities. So please keep it to an academic staff member that you've had a working relationship with, and please ask them ahead of time. If your school requires a counseling recommendation, please reach out to myself or Mrs. Higgins as soon as possible, and we'll get that done for you. My advice along with that is to create a resume, a student resume, with everything you've accomplished through 9th, 10th, and 11th grade and what you're working on in 12th grade, any extracurricular activities or teams that you've been a part of, be it through St. Clair High School or outside of school, and then also any volunteering that you've done inside of school or outside of school, and any jobs you've held outside of school. All of those things are super important, and we want to know any awards that you've been given, if you've been named captain of a sports team, if you've ran your after-school club, if you were president of the yearbook, or leader of the robotics team. Any volunteer work, like I said, you've done, whether that is through your religious organization or through the school, please let us know. And we want to include everything about you and make that letter as perfect for you as possible. All right, now on to the SAT. The SAT will be held here on October 14th for those seniors that weren't allowed to take it during the spring. As I mentioned previously, you will be in a classroom with other students. If this is an issue for you, there's no penalty for not showing up. However, we are requesting that all students show up to take the exam. I think the SAT is pretty important, and like I said, if you're one of those students where your school is going to require your SAT maybe to determine admission, or if you think your SAT could help bolster admission if you do well, You're going to need to take it either through us or through College Board, and you would fill out that information through your College Board website to register for the SAT. I know they've canceled every SAT, I think, up until recently. So if you choose to sign up to take it through College Board, just know that they may cancel those because they have been canceling all of those administrations. So we would want you to show up here. As far as our bubbling goes, there's going to be a sheet sent home to you guys to your email, giving you permission to fill out the Student Search Service questionnaire. And parents, you'll just have to mark yes or no on whether or not you want your student to fill that out. If you do, we're going to be holding an after-school session tentatively scheduled for October the 8th for our virtual students and also other students who are unable to be here during the school day to fill out that pre-bubbling information. We're going to request that they come anyways because there is some information on there that is required for the SAT that we'd like to have done ahead of time. So again, October the 8th, please just be looking out in your emails for that, and we're going to try to send that out to both students and parents. So again, October the 8th, tentatively for an afternoon bubbling session. We'll send home a sheet for the scholarship portion or the Student Search Service portion of the SAT questionnaire, and you'll have to mark yes or no with whether or not you want them to participate. But again, October 14th, more information to come on times and classroom placements for your student for the SAT. Along with that, you'll receive 4 free score sends if you take the SAT through St. Clair High School on the 14th to send to any colleges and universities that may require them. If you're a student who receives free or reduced lunch, what we can do is get you some fee waivers to take the SAT at a later date for free. And you'll also receive 4 more free score sends for your colleges and universities. So you will receive 8 free score sends if eventually your college and university is going to require you to send in your test score. On to the FAFSA, or the free application for federal student aid. Beginning October 1st of this year, you will be able to log in and create an account on FAFSA.gov in order to fill out the FAFSA in order to secure some financial aid and student loans for your student. I would encourage you to apply when it first opens. Parents, if you've been through this process before with an older student, or have heard how this goes from other family members in regards to your nieces and nephews. It's a pretty easy process now. What we do is it's called the prior year. So you'll use your tax information from 2018 in order to fill out the FAFSA for the 21-22 college school year. If you have everything in front of you, it really should take no longer than an hour, potentially an hour and a half to have everything done. If your financial information has changed drastically, either positively or negatively, you're going to want to let them know that so that you can submit more current and up-to-date financial information that best represents your current situation. If you've been negatively affected, that's important because that could affect the amount of aid that you receive for your student as far as scholarships and grant opportunities go. And if it's changed the other way and you're making more money now, if you're audited by chance by the government and you're going to need to supply up-to-date information, potentially there could be some issues with that. So please stay current, and if your financial situation is right around the same now as it was in 2018, then there's no need to change anything. Just submit your 2018 financial information. The SC4 and Blue Water College Access Network typically host a financial aid night to assist parents and students in filling out the FAFSA on site. However, due to the COVID restrictions, this may be done remotely this year. We'll have more information sent home to you as it's made available to us. Likewise, Marine City High School and St. Clair High School typically co-host a financial aid night in November. We will be doing that again this year, and we'll get that information out to you as soon as we know more. Typically, that event is pretty low in numbers, and so there should be adequate social distancing. And if you'd like to show up, please do. We'll have Joe Kassar, typically, who is the financial aid leader at SC4. She's in charge of that department. She does a really great job, both as a financial aid know-it-all, and then also she has experience as a parent filling that out as well, so she can handle and answer any and all questions, and then we can help walk you through filling out the FAFSA on site, and that's typically held at central office on Meisner Road, but more information to come on that. The NCAA and NCAA or NAIA clearinghouse. For those of you that are doing school virtual this year that have the potential to play sports at the college level, you're going to need access to the NCAA clearinghouse and need to have your grades and transcript cleared by them before you can participate as a college athlete. If this applies to you, please contact myself and Mrs. Higgins, and we can help walk you through that process of getting registered. For the clearinghouse, that process can take anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, depending on what they need to review and how many applications they receive. We would hate to see your athletic future delayed because they're waiting on paperwork to get cleared. I had a student at a previous school who had a bad experience, waited to get his paperwork in, and unfortunately by the time it got reviewed, he was unable to be cleared, and he had to take a red shirt for freshman year because we could not clear him to play at his school, and his school was a small Division II or Division III school. So please stay on top of that if that situation applies to you, and we'll make sure that everything gets cleared and paperwork is signed in the proper fashion. Moving right along to scholarships, please check the counseling website. The sheet that I'm looking off of will be posted there, so if you need access to that, you can just head right to the counseling website to look at that. And then also on our scholarship page, we will have many updated scholarship applications available to you. Typically, our local scholarships done through the St. Clair Community Foundation are uploaded in January. So please right now check, I would say like once a week. Mrs. Opus does a really great job of posting scholarship once they are sent to us, and local organizations reach out to us all the time. So please check our website frequently. You'll click on the counseling website, and then on the left-hand side there'll be a spot to click down on scholarship links, and you'll click there, and that will take you to the scholarship page. Okay, but again, many of those applications won't be available until after the new year, so no fear now if you haven't filled any of those out. I recommend that students spend all the time they can filling out scholarships. The common complaint I hear from kids is that it takes too long, and Mr. Short, I don't want to spend 2 hours writing an essay and filling out an application. My response to you guys is, if you get $500 for filling out that scholarship application and it takes you 2 hours, that's $250 an hour, which is way more money than I make. So, especially if that's a renewable scholarship and you only have to fill out the application the second time, that's 500 times 4, carry the 2, plus 10. That's $2,000 over the course of 4 years for 2 hours worth of work up front, and then potentially like 10 to 15 minutes to just update the application every year. So please, guys, don't leave money out on the table. If you qualify based on your GPA and whatever other qualifications the application has for you, please fill that out. Mrs. Higgins and I will get you whatever you need, and we can help walk you through that process if you need extra help or mom and dad are having trouble helping you guys with that as well. College visits, likely to be done virtually. St. Clair High School is not going to have any campus reps here, so there's going to be no college rep visits for seniors to attend. So we're asking that you reach out to your potential college or university's admissions department and figure out how they're going to do visits. I know my example has been Michigan State because I looked into that recently with another student. They have YouTube playlists out of campus tours and college buildings and what a typical campus visit would look like. I imagine a lot of other schools are going to be in that same boat as well, though I know some schools have been doing appointment-only visits for campus tours. So please check in with your prospective college or university, and they'll give you best direction on how to visit their campus either in person or virtually. Modern States, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about them. They are a nonprofit organization that has set up college-level courses taught by college professors in order to earn you college credit for freshman year. And their goal is to get everybody freshman year for free. How they do that is they have these courses online. You sign up to take one, and then at the end you take what is called the CLEP exam. Typically that is done through SE4, as they're a certified testing center for the CLEP test. And you'll take this free course, and then you'll pass your exam at the end, and that will earn you college credit. You're going to have to do your homework on whether or not your school or university accepts those. As far as I know, those are accepted nationwide. And so again, it's a really great program to get involved in if you have some free time and want to do that, or your schedule prevented you from taking some AP courses and you think, hey, like I could take this class and ace that exam. Please look into it. So that's modernstates.org. The link is going to be posted on the document. You can click on there and scroll through and look at the time requirements for the courses and when they're going to be available for you, and then when the exam dates are. Dual enrollment. I know some of you virtual students out there are also dual enrollment students. Please, for November, I think is when those classes are going to be posted. I haven't gotten any information yet, but start checking in November for the winter class list. And then those of you that are currently in classes, you won't have to fill out the application a second time. That's already on file with them. So you'll just have to print out the authorization form and fill that out with what classes you want to take for winter semester or second semester here at St. Clair High School. And we'll go ahead, Mrs. Higgins and myself will get you registered for those courses. So again, if you're a student with the last name L through Z, send any questions and inquiries and paperwork to me. If you're a student with the last name A through K, please send all of that information to Mrs. Higgins unless otherwise noted. Online classes. For those of you that are taking classes through Michigan Virtual, please fill out your form. If the class you're taking is already a 2-semester course, then you've already been signed up for second semester of your course. If the class you are taking through Michigan Virtual is only a 1-semester course, then we're going to need to know what course you would like to take for second semester. So please fill out that form, or if you need a copy of that form, let us know via email or phone call, and we'll make sure that you have access to that. At the very bottom of the document, you'll see applying for financial aid, and I pretty much covered that. You and your parent or guardian will need to create an FSA ID, which is a user-created unique username and password in order to access the FAFSA through FAFSA.gov. You can qualify for grants and work study even if you don't think you're eligible for financial aid. So if one of those students like Mr. Short, my parents were like, way too much money, I'm not going to get free money from the government. Okay, great, I understand. And also the only way that you're going to qualify for a student loan or work study is by filling out the FAFSA. So regardless of your financial situation, we're requesting that you fill that out. If you don't fill it out, your SE4 or U of M or MSU can't consider you for any scholarships without your financial aid information made available to them. So please fill that out. And guys, that'll do it for the video. I miss you guys. I know Mrs. Higgins does as well as Ms. Zopitz and all the staff here. If you guys need anything at all over the course of the year, please reach out to your teachers, reach out to myself or Mrs. Higgins. We're here for you no matter what. So any questions about scholarships, any questions about college, any questions about the FAFSA, any questions about dual enrollment, Michigan Virtual, anything you can think of, or if you just want to send us an email and just say, hey, what's up, and check in with us and see how we're doing, see how you're doing, that would be great. Again, let us know about graduation requirements, personal curriculums, letters of recommendation, and we look forward to meeting with you either virtually or over the phone. And if we need to send out another video, I've been designated as a video guy, so hopefully you're not sick of seeing my face. We just want you to have the same information that all of our your in-class students and peers are getting as well. So again, we'll send this out. It's Monday, September 28th, so I'm hopeful that this will go out today, if not tomorrow, September 29th. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you need us. Go Saints.